In this lesson, I will explain the Wise SCADA redundancy, that is, the multi-redundant operation structure. I have made the preliminary preparations. I created some internal variables. Let's assume these are the tags that SCADA reads from normal PLCs. I also created some bits in the first network. I created tags of bit and string types. Now let's see these in the redundancy section. When we first create redundancy, we must determine the port number. Other partners will access Wise SCADA with this port number. Normally, since the other partner's IP address would be different, the port number here should also be the same. But since I will be working on a single computer and running both redundancy master and slave on the same computer, I had to give a different port number. First of all, in the first table here, we make settings related to this SCADA, regarding the master status of this SCADA. We have a tag of Boolean type in IsPrimary. We selected that tag. If the SCADA working as primary is this SCADA, the value of this tag will be true. If this SCADA is not primary and is reading values from the other partner, the value of this tag will be false. There don't have to be two redundancy partners in Wise SCADA. There can be more. There is no limitation. When there are multiple partners, I defined a tag of string type so that if this SCADA is not primary, we can monitor which server it is connected to. There is connected client in the other column. If this SCADA is primary, I defined a tag of string type again for you to track the IP address of the client connected to it in runtime. I am not explaining the settings related to the database for now. Let's just make two SCADAs communicate with each other. We will move on to the database later. In the second table, we make the definitions of our partners. We write the partner's IP address and port number. The port number we write here must be the same as the number in this field, in the partner SCADA project. You can determine the communication period and timeout duration with period and timeout. We must determine the retry count before an error occurs from here. There is IsPrimary here as well. Let's assume we have three partners. We select tags of Boolean type here to be able to track which one is the primary. When we connect to this, we have a Boolean tag again showing the connected status. And we have a tag showing the fault status. Again, I am not explaining the part related to the database. Our first project is complete now. Let's run this in runtime. Let's see. Yes, we ran it. As you can see, the IsPrimary checkbox became ticked. This was our IsPrimary tag that we selected. All others are false and it continuously counts the value of our first tag for simulation purposes. Currently, there is no partner connected to us or that we are connected to. Now let's move on to defining our partner. I am doing save as for this project and I will save it as redundant B. Now we are setting our partner. Let's run redundant immediately with our first project. Let both of them be on our screen. Yes, now we can proceed to configure redundant B. First of all, we must make the address here as 8001. We set our partner's port number as 8001. Now we can try to connect to the partner from here. Sorry, this was the database connection. We activated from here. We are trying to connect to our partner but we failed. Let's open our partner immediately and enable the server part on it as well. We can see here that the other SCADA is connected to us and reading the tags right now. Similarly, we can monitor these data in partner B as well. With the process we have done so far, we have succeeded in connecting two SCADAs to each other. We will explain the database shortly. Now in both projects. Sorry, in this second project. I deactivated this from here. Now let's put a mark on the screen of the redundant one in our first project. Let's add a label. Let's say A. Let's make its font large as well. Let's open our other project too. Let's say V to this one. First, I am running the runtime of our B project. At the same time, I am running the runtime in our A project as well. Let's put A and B on top of each other like this. The B project I ran first appears as IsPrimary right now. We can see that the A project is not primary, one of the partners is primary and it is connected to it. We see the IP address of the server it is connected to with connected server here. We see the IP address of A connected to this with connected client here. Let's close these. Redundant has a different aspect from server-client operation. When you configure as redundant, we create tags here to communicate with PLCs. Normally, when we create these tags in the server-client structure, each SCADA station provides communication with the PLCs within itself. But when it is redundant, this communication is done only by the primary. Other partners do not attempt to communicate with PLCs. They receive the data from the SCADA that is primary. And when they want to send a set value, they send it to the primary again. It sends it to the PLCs. Now let's explain the database situation. This is the screen we defined as redundant A. Yes, redundant A. When we come to its database section, we see that it is database A. We are adding a new database. Everything else will be the same. Only here is redundant database B. Sorry, I should do this like this. Now there is database A. I am creating a new database. Actually, I shouldn't create this from here. I need to create it from the other SCADA. This database will belong to the other PLC's other SCADA station. We are creating database B here by saying new. And this will now use database B. Let's go to the other SCADA immediately. This is B. This is the redundant one. Let's say load again and select database B. It is enough to just connect. We can also look at the tables. We have no other business here. We will never write data to this database. Therefore, we set the recording periods to 0 here. We will use these databases only for reading. We will select Enable Database Synchronization. This will be database A. We will select the partner's database here. And, we connected. We did the verification too. We saw that there is a difference between the two, the table is not equal. We go to our other project. When we run database B once in runtime right now, It will configure itself as required by this project. And we have a database with the same structure. Now we can save verify in the other project. We received confirmation that our database is the same. We switch to our other project again. Here too, in the redundancy section, we selected Enable Database Synchronization. First, we need to adjust this. This was its own database, and we must adjust the other one as the partner's database. We selected Database A. And here we access the database of the other SCADA project. Now we select the partner's database here. We connected and said verify. We received the confirmation message. I am running the runtime with partner B again. Partner B started. Again, the tag's value is changing for simulation purposes. In parallel with this, it also writes data to the database. We will run the other partner now. When we run this, the records in its database will be completed from the running SCADA. Because the other SCADA project started working a little while ago. And there is additional data in the database. When I click on its runtime, first it will connect to the partner's database. And it will receive the missing data from it. Now the records in the database are the same in both projects. We have come to the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching.